Hey. So I just got back from the first leg of a speaking tour with the Florida chapter of CMAA, the Club Management Association of America. And the common theme that we were all chatting about is we are in April and about to head into May, which means that our main season here in Florida is starting to come to an end. We get to head into the summer where a lot of the club managers are talking about, well, what does that look like for me strategically? How can I build up my teams? How can I use this slower time in the summer to prepare for our super busy season that will kick back off again in the October, November, December timeframe? And so the club industry has this season that initiates development, that initiates investing in change and making sure processes and systems are ready to go. It also includes a little bit of downtime and rest and recovery that's essential for high performance. A lot of us don't have these same seasons within our work though. We are on this treadmill of life, or this hamster wheel of life, and we're going and we're going and we're going and we're going, and we never stop and say, whoa, what's working, what's not? We may be forced to do this at work when we are building our strategic plans or our marketing and sales plans and things like that, but are we doing this in both our professional and our personal development? And so a lot of people work with coaches like myself because when you work with someone, it forces you to take a step back and then to have accountability to put in place what you want to do to improve upon yourself and grow and reach those goals that you have for yourself. So if you don't have a coach that you're working with, or you don't have the seasons that are inspiring you to make those changes and pause to reflect on your life and how you can get better personally and professionally, I want to share with you what I do to make sure that I am continuing to grow and to focus on what's important. So I have taken some feedback from a couple of my mentors, mostly Brendon, Burchard, and Ferriss. And I do a monthly check-in. And this is something that I put in my calendar for the first Monday morning of every month. And it's a half-hour date with myself where I go over 5 questions. And I want to share with you what those 5 questions are. And I'll share some examples of how I respond to them so that you understand what these questions are doing. But I'm writing the answers down in the journal so that I'm reflecting on my life so I can improve and learn from my experiences and get better. So the first question, and there's 5 of them, question number 1 is focus. Where was it? What did I learn? And what do I need to shift? So earlier this month when I was reviewing March, I saw that my focus was on some of my speaking engagements, continuing to build content for my book and those engagements, and going to New York with my boys. And what I learned from that is that trip with my boys was awesome, and I want to keep doing something like that with them. And that it's always going to be tricky for me to balance building content for my speaking engagements and making them even better with also continuing to get my book edited and revised and out there and continue writing. So I made some notes on how I can better do that this coming month. The second question that I ask myself every month is stressors. What were they? What stressed me out this month? And then how can I overcome them? And so a couple stressors that I wrote down, and remember, I'm looking at both my personal and professional life because I know that they both intersect with each other. If I am failing at something in my personal life, it is impacting how I'm showing up at work. So I don't do one or the other. I'm always looking at personal and professional because I'm one person showing up at both places. And so the stressors that I identified, a couple of them for March were, my boys. I'm kind of always asking them to pick up their shoes and get ready in the morning. And a way that I figured out that I could combat that stress is putting together a chart for them in the morning so that I'm not telling them what to do, but this chart is telling them what to do. We had tried that a couple years ago and had let it slide, but we brought that back, and wow, it's already been a lot nicer having them following the chart instead of following me. The next question that I ask myself is 80-20 thinking. And this is one that I got from Tim Ferriss's book, Tribe of Mentors. We all heard about the Pareto principle and the fact that 80% of our results come from 20% of our effort. And so as a highly successful, person who is wanting to have high performance and make an impact in this world, I and you, we always want to be thinking, what is the 20% of my effort that is resulting in the 80% of my income, my joy, my energy, what I'm putting out at work. And so what I want to do every month is say, okay, what does that look like? And am I continuing to do things that I'm not good at, that aren't in that top 20% of me? And I should either delegate it, eliminate it, or decide to really improve upon it. And so looking at that, I do a lot of design work for my slides and some of the social media that we put out there. My assistant Dakota is a rock star and also helps with that, but I identify that I need to have her helping me more with making my slides even better. That's something that, I enjoy, but it's not really in my zone of genius. And so I need to be pushing that onto her to help me, to support me in that way. The fourth question that I ask is regarding relationships, both personal and professional. How are they and what am I learning about them? Well, when I looked at my personal relationships, I remembered that my son Maverick has started to complain about me embarrassing him in front of his friends. So he's 8 years old, almost 9, in 3rd grade, and I'm recognizing that some of the things that I said, out loud to him in front of others embarrassed him. And so I'm starting to have more private conversations when we're talking about something like a shift in attitude or a behavior change, or to tuck his shirt in, something like that. And that has, of course, helped our relationship since noticing that when I did this journaling. And then I've noticed in my professional relationships that it's been really enjoyable to start building more relationships here in Naples and with those in the club industry and in the speaking and event planning space. And I'm enjoying those relationships as friendships, which is something that I haven't always been able to do in the past because I've been so focused on getting things done. And then finally, the 5th question that I look at when I do my monthly journaling is, what wins do I have? What can I celebrate for the month? So last month I was celebrating the fact that we have booked 19 speaking engagements for me this year. 30 is my stretch goal, which is I think about double what I spoke last year. And so given that we're at 20, I have strong faith that we will be booking the next 10 over the next couple months. So I hope that's helpful for you. This is something you could also do quarterly, but I really recommend monthly because life just starts going really quickly. And if we aren't pausing to recognize what's working and what's not, what we enjoy, what we don't, if we aren't just taking that little pause to have that self-awareness, which is part of the first pillar of emotional intelligence, that of course I speak to, then there's no way that we can change or improve. And then this system is really an example of self-management, which is the second pillar of emotional intelligence, which is a system that's helping me to manage myself better so I can show up more powerfully, and then move into the 3rd and the 4th pillars of emotional intelligence, which are about influencing others, communicating with others, and working with others to achieve our common mission. So let me know about these 5 questions. Do you think they would work for you? And what do you do? What do you do if you don't do a monthly check-in? What do you do to make sure that you are on the path to making an impact in this world and having that high performance in both your work and your home life that I know you desire? Until next time.